What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to the Cris
Am on.
podcast, episode 257, Takeover Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good night, whatever you're doing. You're at home, you're at work. We appreciate y'all tapping in to the live stream. You're listening on the playback. We appreciate you too. Leave a comment in the comment section. We got a few things to speak on, some NBA conference finals talk, you know what I'm saying? Get into that, man. We had a couple games these past few days that were really, really good. Could talk about that. Also got some NFL stuff. Talk about Rashee Rice. He's back in the news, y'all. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Death, taxes, and Rashee Rice having off-field problems. That's becoming regular now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our surefire better picks and Mall's random news. Little light tonight. Little light tonight. But before we get into that, Mall, how you feeling, sir?
Feeling good, man. Excited to see the Golden Knights win Game 1 against the Colorado Avalanche. They played really good, so excited about that, man. Excited to talk about these topics, man. Get this ball rolling, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, brother. Ready to get into these topics.
All right, let's do it.
Take it away, my brother. NBA Conference Finals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll start it off. We'll start it off in the Eastern Conference. Yesterday, the Cavaliers. Obviously, we didn't get to talk about it, but the Cavaliers. They ended up beating on Sunday. They ended up beating the Pistons in the Game 7, 125-94. Evan Mobley had a really good game, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Detroit Pistons, man, they went out. They went out in a bad way. What was your thoughts with that Game 7 that we watched on Sunday with the Detroit Pistons and Cavaliers?
We kind of spoke on Detroit and what they needed. He kind of just reared his head on Sunday. Cade just looked like he was exhausted, putting his all into this in this conference, in this series. And when he's not playing well, the rest of the team is pretty much when you take the head out, the body's gonna fall. So and that pretty much what happened. And Cleveland was just more on, and they're better. Their players were just better on that night for sure.
No, for sure. Which led to the Cavaliers, playing against the New York Knicks, who had damn near like almost a week worth of rest. They were up 22. Fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, man. Then next thing you know, we saw probably the biggest choke job, we've seen in a minute, man, with the New York Knicks outscoring them 44-11. Ended up winning in overtime, 104-115. Cavaliers only scored 3 points in that overtime compared to the New York Knicks, 14. Jalen Brunson, man, he was a magician out there with 38 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Mikal Bridges hit some big threes. Landry Shamet hit a couple big threes. He hit the big tying one, and then the one that solidified it in overtime. My question to you, sir, is how much of a devastating loss was that for the Cleveland Cavaliers? And do you think they could bounce back, or do you think this series is already over before it even gets started?
I don't know, man. Y'all might need to call Danhausen, man, because he put a curse on y'all. And they reared his head in the fourth quarter. No, but for real. That was a bad look. That was a bad look. Like, y'all up by 22, and y'all had the chance to put your foot on their neck.
Mm-hmm.
Stamp. Let's go 1-0 in New York. And they choked it up. They went after James Harden, man.
Yeah.
They did. They went after James Harden, and we all know how he is when the pressure is on, and he doesn't play good when pressurized situations. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, that happened, and hopefully they'll bounce back. You know what I'm saying? So we can get a great series. But if Knicks come out, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more energized and more hyped up, it could get ugly really fast in this series.
So, what's your expectation for Game 2 tomorrow night? Do you think the Cavs are able to bounce back, or do you think the Knicks go up 2-0?
That's a tough one right there. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I still think the Knicks go up 2-0.
Yeah. Look, it was a devastating loss. I thought this could have been a big key win for them. Especially coming off that 7 games. We know the Cavaliers, man. They're before this game they were 8-7. They already played 15 games in the playoffs. We know how taxing that could be. And then for them to be able to come in this game and, early parts of the first half, it looked like the New York Knicks were kind of like finding the rhythm, especially when Mitchell Robinson was able to come in and, he kind of sparked a little run where they were able to go get up by by like 9 to 11 points. But then it just seemed like the Cavaliers kind of took control over after that, able to get a 2-point lead going into halftime. And then third quarter, they were just super dominant. Beginning part of the fourth quarter, it just looked like they just kept the ball rolling. But this is the main reason why I've always had questions about this team with a Donovan Mitchell, James Harden led team, because situations like this where you have two guys who are offensively capable of not letting runs like this happen, they allowed it. You know what I mean? Offensively, they look very stagnant. James Harden just dribbling the air out of the ball. Defensively, as you kind of stated, James Harden is a cone out there. Like, he's just easily able. Jalen Brunson was able to get anything and everything he wanted off of James Harden. And the head coach, he had a whole bunch of timeouts. He had about 4 left over before, I think it's the 3-minute mark, where I think it gets down to 2. Man, he didn't use anything. He didn't call a timeout. He didn't try to, make some adjustments. He didn't try to give his team a break off of that devastating run. And he didn't call a timeout until they were down 94-89, or up 94 to 89. And then you kind of just low key saw the writing on the wall. And it kind of is like poetic justice, you know what I mean? Because New York Knicks were in the same similar situation last year with the Indiana Pacers, and we saw what happened in that game 1, where they were pretty much dominant that whole game, and then the Indiana Pacers just miraculously came back. So it's kind of poetic in this sense that it is the Knicks' turn that they get this. I personally think that this series, me personally, is over. I think that was the worst Knicks team you were going to see this entire series, and that was their opportunity to kind of steal one. Now, they could prove us all wrong. We know it's game by game. Donovan Mitchell could have 45, 50 points, and James Harden, I'm not expecting it, but, maybe he might have a good game, Jared Allen or Evan Mobley or something like that. But I'm expecting the New York Knicks to win this, and it just makes me even more comfortable about my 6, maybe even 5, you know what I mean, for this series. So we shall see. We'll see tomorrow. It should be an interesting game tomorrow. Speaking of the big series that everybody's been kind of waiting on, Monday night, man, it started the Western Conference Finals series with the Spurs and Thunder, the one we've been all anticipating for. Spurs winning game 1 with a huge win, winning 122-115. Shai Gilgeous got his MVP award that game. Victor Wembanyama looked on, and his motivation factor was through the roof. He had 41 points, 24 rebounds, 3 blocks. Alex Caruso, sad to say, former Laker, man, he should still be a Laker. He had 31 points in that game. In game 1, we'll talk about game 2 in a second, but game 1, man, that 41 points, 24 rebounds with Victor Wembanyama, how impressive was that performance? And do you think that is the most impressive playoff performance that you have seen in your memory?
It's up there. It was very impressive. But this game was about Chet Holmgren. It was about him not being able to step up to the plate against Wembanyama, and Wembanyama just went out there and took his food, took food off his plate, and took his lunch money, and he pretty much got punked in that game, and Thunder had some opportunities towards the end in that overtime. But ultimately, Wembanyama made some great shots at the end, and pretty much took over the game, man. And that separates you. When you want to be a superstar in the league, you got to come up clutch when your team needs to, even when sometimes your best stuff isn't working. Because it was starting to look like in that overtime the Thunder was going to take a little bit control, and they were up before a little bit. But then Wembanyama hit a big 3 that got them back up and tied the game up, and then after that it was just all Spurs after that. And like I said, man, Chet, he didn't have a good game. I didn't even think SGA had a really particularly great game.
He didn't have a good game at all.
So yeah, it wasn't a good game all around from their superstars. So but that's why you get a series. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And speaking of that series, we had game 2 tonight. OKC was able to bounce back 122-113, but we did have some key injuries today. Dylan Harper, he went out with a hamstring injury, and Jalen Williams seems like he also has re-injured his left hamstring that kept him out for a couple weeks. Missed a couple games. But the Thunder were able to bounce back. Shai Gilgeous had a really good game, 30 points, 9 assists. Alex Caruso had another really good game, 17 points. Casey Wallace and Jared McCain and AJ Mitchell, they each had double digits, helped their bench. Victor Wembanyama, he had a Victor Wembanyama game, 21 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks. But overall, the series is tied. But which injury do you think is the more concerning injury out of the two, Dylan Harper or Jalen Williams going forward?
I would probably say Dylan Harper. I would say Dylan Harper. I think they need him more than what OKC needs Jalen Williams. I think they've shown that they got waves of guys that can step up and take up for Jalen Williams. Whereas in Spurs are still a young team. Both teams are young. Let's just get that out of the way. But OKC has the experience to being in these spots. Where Spurs, they're still young in these spots, and they need all their star players and good players to be on this court, right now. Yeah, you got Victor, so that's great. Stephen Castle is really good too. But yeah, man, I think they're gonna miss Dylan Harper if he has to miss any amount of games for sure.
This one's tough. I think they're both kind of like on the same level to me, because Jalen Williams, he's also a key figure on that offensive side. Like I think he was kind of like he alleviated a lot of pressure off of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, especially on the offensive side. Because me personally, I can't trust Chet to be able to do that consistently. Jalen Williams was that guy. So it's going to be even more interesting to see, because obviously we see how they're attacking Shai Gilgeous. They're sending double teams, triple teams. They're trying to get the ball out of his hands. They're trying to frustrate him. And, shout out to my Lakers, man. They kind of pulled out that blueprint and what the Spurs are kind of doing with SGA. But it's also damning for the Spurs. Now, obviously, they haven't had De'Aaron Fox these first two games. I thought he was going to be able to play this game, but I think they're going to rest him a little bit of extra days so they can get ready for him to come back in Game 3. I think he definitely will play in Game 3, and I think he will mean a lot. But Dylan Harper is such a great perimeter defender. He can switch off the ball. He's big body for his size as a guard, and just the offense he did. He had over 20 points in that game one. I think in both ways, it could be a little bit damning. Obviously, it's going to be see who off that bench and who can replace those guys. Production. Hopefully, these guys aren't out too long. Hopefully, it's just minor tweaks, and it was just kind of precautionary type of situations where both of these guys are like, look, it's going to be a long series. Let's get these guys prepared. Maybe they might miss Game 3. Maybe they might be able to come back Game 4 or 5. But it's going to be interesting. I think this series is definitely set up to go Game 7. I think this is going to be an all-time series. And I still have no idea who's going to win this series. I still don't have any idea who has the upper hand. So going back to San Antonio, Friday night should be interesting to see where it goes. But congrats to the Thunder tying up this series, man. They needed this win. Very, very much so. And Shai Gilgeous gave us a MVP performance to be able to do that. So,
okay, so you got to show up them turnovers, man. 9 turnovers, that's not good, man. It's going to lose your games every time.
Yeah. He did. 9 turnovers was kind of a tough one. I felt like it looked like to me was like, I don't know if he's a little tired. It looked like he might be a little bit tired. You know what I mean?
But he had a hell of a dunk.
Yeah, that's
Harrenstein.
Yeah, Harrenstein. Yeah, he yammed on that. But maybe he used all of his legs on that one. But this is the first time. And look, we all heard the stories about Victor Wembanyama and the Monks. Stephen Castle was not with the Monks. He was not out there, doing 2,000 step treads or whatever Victor Wembanyama was doing out there with the Monks. You know what I mean? I think you could kind of tell with Stephon Castle, like he even said it in Game 1, that was the toughest game he've ever played, and I just think it kind of showed, which is kind of like he just looked a little winded out there. It looked like his legs were in him, minus the dunk. But overall, I think Stephon Castle is going to have a bounce back game, and he's just good. He still had 25 points and 8 assists. So we'll see how it goes in the future, man. And that's it for NBA. Short.
For sure. All right, man. Let's get this out the way, man. Rashee Rice.
Yeah, your boy. G Block, baby.
G Block.
YN. You know what I'm saying?
So yesterday there was reports.
What up, Mark?
Reported that Rashee Rice tested positive for marijuana in his system, would violated his probation, which made the judge order him to do his 30 days that he was already supposed to do. He had a chance to do it at any time in his 5 year probation, but they told him that now that you violated that, you gonna have to just do it now. And so they took him in custody yesterday. Uh, a lot of people are done with rice. But a lot of people, I mean, they took him into custody, booked him. He's got to do 30 days. He's in there till June 16th. But that's not the only news we got from Rashee Rice. And it's funny because I'm watching one of the podcasts, Only Weird Games, and their Chiefs podcast, and the guy who covers the Chiefs for ESPN, the homie Nate Taylor, he's on that show, and he gets off the show like abruptly, like I got some more news. It's gonna hit at the top of the hour. We're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Like, I'm hoping it's something positive. Maybe they sign somebody or something.
Right.
Nope. Rashee Rice had surgery on a knee that had some information in it last week, and so he was supposed to be sidelined for 2 months. So I'm imagining it would be like June, and then July, and then possibly he start getting revved up in August or whatever. He'll make a little bit of training camp. I don't know. It was just a cleanup, so I don't know. I don't think the severity of the knee surgery was huge. It wasn't like he had to get something repaired. It was just more so of a cleanup. But it's not ideal to have knee surgery and be in jail right now.
No, especially in them small ass cots, boy. That knee might be that's not the place you want. You want to recover in. That's for sure.
And so this is a damn situation right now with Rashee Rice because, and look, the Chiefs they they caught well, I would say Rashee Rice. He's caught many of slack, I would say, from all of his infractions that he's done, from the whole car situation to get 5 years of probation and only had to do 30 days in jail. He had the 6 game suspension last year. I think that was more of a slap. That was a slap on the wrist, and he was very fortunate to get that. Yeah. Then this off season with the whole allegations from his girlfriend saying he was physical with her, having like 15 pictures of, physical abuse on her and, cabinets broken and all that stuff. NFL said they did an investigation. They couldn't find no findings of, proof that he did any of this stuff. So they said, hey, we can't find nothing. We're not going to suspend you. So he got a deal. He was scot-free whole off season, going into the season. You're not going to be suspended. This is a contract season for you, Rashee Rice. Regardless if you're a Chief next year or somewhere else, if you ball out, you going to get some type of paper. You ain't getting JSN, man. I don't know what the hell you was talking about on Taekwondo Authority. Y'all was talking about JSN money. You ain't getting no JSN money. But you would at least got more money than you've ever had in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you've royally screwed that up right now. Like, all you had to do was stay clean, my brother. Just stay clean. Yes, you would have been sidelined regardless, but still, you wouldn't be in jail right now. You'd have been in the Chiefs facility right now rehabbing your knee. And so I don't think the Chiefs are going to cut him because they kind of put themselves in a bind that they're going to need him. They ain't got no choice. Like, it is what it is. Like, they're going to play it out 2026, and then 2027, they're going to say, hey, thank you for your services. Hope you find another team. And he's probably going to have to sign a 1-year deal because ain't nobody going to give him no 3-year, 4-year, $80 million deal. He's probably going to have to take a 1-year, $7-10 million incentive base deal and prove that he can have an off season without any mess. Because this is crazy that you're what did Charlie Murphy say? You're an habitual line stepper. Habitually. Like, you don't care. And maybe some jail time will sit your ass down and humble your ass when you're eating a nasty ass bologna sandwich and you ain't got the access that you was having. You sit like you said on that badass cot, and your back all fucked up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you can't rehab your leg like you want to because you ain't got the facility. You in a jail cell, sir.
Yeah.
So hopefully this humbles you. Hopefully this wakes your ass up because this is crazy to me. Like when I saw this, I'm in the movie theater when I saw this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, and when you tag me, and that's why I said no comment, man. I'm watching this movie, dog. I don't have the energy for this, man, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but the Chiefs gonna have to go out there and get another wide receiver, whether it's free agency, they get a Stephon Diggs, or uh, I don't even think Tyreek Hill's gonna help right now. Even Adam Scheffner said he won't be ready till like October, November. So they need something right now. So they might have to go get a Stephon Diggs, a Debo Samuels, a Keenan Allen, or they might have to trade for somebody. I know they was talking about AJ Brown, but I don't think we got the cap space for AJ Brown. So they might have to try something cheaper. But
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have to do something
Mm-hmm.
because they gotta have somebody to replace those snaps, especially in OTAs and training camp. So they got to make a move. They do. They got to make a move, dog. It is what it is, and I know Patrick Mahomes sitting somewhere like, man, this nigga, sick and
Mm-hmm.
tired of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sick and tired of this nigga, man. So,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I saw, Sam Howell of KC Star, he had like a report. The report that he put out, it was. It seemed like somebody in the organization told Sam Howell, like, this is how we feel about this shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And somebody's pissed. It's probably Clark Hunt.
Yeah.
He's probably pissed off because you're like, motherfucker, I use my connections to get you that 5-year probation
Mm-hmm.
in Dallas because that's where that's where the Hunts are from. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I that's all I can say about this.
All right, I'm gonna play a little clip from Adam Schefter. You talked on Pat McAfee about this. We'll play this and get more of your thoughts, sir. We'll get.
There's a 30-day prison sentence that is happening for Rashee Rice. There was a deferred probation for a certain amount of years, which we looked it up, where basically the deferred probation is a 5-year period where as long as you are good in your probation, the charge will kind of just be wiped from your record, I think. There won't be any more punishment. You kind of move forward. But if in that 5-year deferred probation period, you fail anything in your probation, you are then to serve your sentence that was to be given. So in this one, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Schefter, but I've had some friends that have had DUI situations with this, where they've had certain probation periods where they couldn't do anything. And if they did, then the entire sentence would be. Can you explain how we got to this? Did the Chiefs know that he was going to be doing 30 days in jail? Did we know this? How long did he know that it was going to be happening? Because you reported that he got surgery just a week before or within the last couple of weeks, a cleanup of a knee, which you would certainly not want to be in jail for 30 days while fresh out of a surgery, it seems like. Can you kind of clarify all this for us, Schefter, as we look at a situation that I don't think we've seen in a long time, right? This is certainly okay. Sorry, go ahead.
There are a few different sides to this, and we'll present some of what we were told yesterday. But basically, as it was explained to me yesterday, obviously he did not know that he was going to be going to jail for 30 days here. If he did, there's no way that he would have had the knee surgery that he did last week, so that he'll be in jail in a Dallas County jail, which he now is. He's currently in a jail cell in Dallas County Jail, coming off the knee surgery he had last week that'll sideline him 2 months. Now, that's 2 months normally with the attention and care and rehab that you're going to get. I don't know how this works where you undergo knee surgery and then you're in jail.
Look, man, listen here, man. Listen here. Look, I know it's a serious situation, my man, but golly, bro. Like, didn't I tell you something was gonna happen to your team? Because this man don't know how to stay his ass out of trouble. So this man didn't know he was going through 30 days, got a knee surgery, and he's supposed to be rehabbing currently right now. This man is sitting in a jail cell with a bum knee. I'm very, very curious if he's even going to be ready at all to start this season. They might even have to put this man on the PUP list.
I've already said he's going on the PUP list.
It's looking that way because he's supposed to be rehabbing his knee currently right now. He cannot do that in a jail cell. It's just not going to happen, especially a county jail cell. It's just not going to happen. Like this is there's a lot of NFL players have been very, very stupid in their life, you know, including one of our receivers that we drafted, and Henry Ruggs. He did something 100 times worse than anything Rashee Rice. Well, Rashee Rice came close to doing something close to that, but at the end of the day, he didn't, and Henry Ruggs did. One's in jail, the other one is in jail because his dumb ass can't not smoke the weed. So I think it is personally time that the Chiefs need to stand up and cut the bullshit out. I get it. You guys have a lot going for y'all. Y'all expect Patrick Mahomes to be back ready. I'm sure Rashee Rice was part of those plans, at least for this year, to be a big proponent to that. We all know what kind of talented young man he is on that football field. He makes a lot of dumb decisions off that football field, but he's a hell of a player on it. But he has made too many dumb decisions that has impacted this football team, that has impacted people around him. That is just it just doesn't seem like he can get right. He can't get right at all. And I don't think he gets it. I don't think he gets it, and I don't think he'll ever grow up. Like, he's literally throwing his NFL career away easily. You know what I mean? Like, he obviously that big payday is not coming anytime soon because no NFL team, let alone the Chiefs, are going to give him a multi-million-dollar deal, especially in the likes of like a Jamar Chase. Hell, you ain't getting an Alec Pierce deal. You ain't getting nothing. So, look, there are. I think if I'm the Chiefs, I'm calling Stephon Diggs. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm calling Keenan Allen. I'm calling a lot of you. I'm Tyreek Hill. Your name is on the docket. Get healthy, my brother, because we would love to have you back. And even Tyreek Hill has some questionable marks on his resume, but
so does Stephon Diggs.
so does Stephon Diggs, but with Stephon Diggs, it's more so he just can't keep his dick in his pants, in a sense, you know what I mean? But I think he will be a great teammate on that football field. Yeah. I'm calling about AJ Brown. I'm gonna see what's up. I'm gonna call other teams like, you know, Saints. Like, look, if we throw you something for Chris Olave, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, Brandon Ayuk, is your fat ass not fat no more? Maybe we could call you. Like, they're like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, see what's up with the Rams with Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? If they're willing to, you know, go that route, they're already talking about trading him. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, there's got to be a situation where they can get a receiver out of that. But, you know, you got to see what's up. But, look, I know I'm a Raiders fan, but I'm annoyed with y'all. Like, it's just goddamn, like, brother, like, what are you doing, dog? And I hate young black men that just continuously put themselves in a situation where they keep fucking up their lives, man. For real, dog. Like, this is your life. You didn't find a way to get your family out of whatever bullshit that you had to fight your way to get out of. You're gonna ruin this shit because your ass cannot stay your ass, and you cannot stop smoking weed for 30 days, dog. 30 days. Or no, not 30 days, but at least 5 years. But you put yourself in that predicament, dog. You put yourself in that predicament. So if you gotta not smoke weed for 5 years, the motherfucker, you do that so you can get these millions of dollars. That millions of dollars and your career is way more important than you smoking a little bit of weed.
Or at least get the contract first and then go smoke some weed.
Yeah, but even then, you gotta prove yourself, dog. Like, you done got into so much bullshit that even if I'm the Chiefs and you were clean going into this year, I still gotta see it to believe it. Like, I think it would have took at least like 2 years of you consistently not doing dumb shit. Because what is this, the third year in a row? What is this, the third year in a row? And then you got the knee surgery on top of that. So now we just wasted a whole knee surgery on your ass, not knowing you had to go to jail because your dumb ass can't smoke weed. So that's more funds we done wasted on you, wasted time on you. And now you got a bum knee in jail for the next 30 some days. Like,
and didn't put any resources in the receiver position because we trusted your ass, and we was expecting you and Xavier Worthy to take a step forward with the new coach that we brought in, Chad O'Shea, who's an experienced head coach who's coached some of the best guys. So we thinking this guy can get the best out of you too. That's
Absolutely.
what we're banking off. You're a former second round pick. He's a former first round pick. So we know you two are talented, but we're trying to pour in and invest in by getting a real coach. Because we fucked up. We got a dude that wasn't experienced. Now we getting somebody who got 20 years worth of experience. And we think, and on top of Eric Bieniemy in y'all ear, cussing y'all out if y'all fuck up. Because we know he ain't gonna play that shit. We was investing in y'all this shit. At least for the 2026 season, we was investing in you, Rashee Rice, to be a contributor to this team. And now you do this. This is how you repay us.
This is not the way you want to start your year off. Like, this is not the way you want. Like, because at the end of the day, your ultimate goal is to protect Patrick fucking Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He is the full ticket, and the reason why the Chiefs are fucking relevant is because of Mahomes. So now there's a potential that your star receiver isn't going to be ready for week 1, going into a big game against Patrick Surtain and the Denver Broncos. And you think that is what you need Patrick Mahomes to deal with, holding on to that football a little bit longer and he get hurt again? You want him to get beat up again because your dumb ass is not on that field? So now Patrick Surtain, they can switch the defense to do whatever the case. You're going to take Xavier Worthy out. Now it puts more pressure on Kenneth Walker and Travis Kelce, who's already old enough. Like what are we doing? It's just going to me, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm starting to think maybe I don't want to put Mahomes out there. But you know what? You got no choice because the NFL gave you that Monday fucking night football game. They gave you that game because they're expecting Patrick Mahomes to be on that fucking football field. That is the only reason why you guys got that Monday night game. The only reason. No one wants to see Justin Fields on that fucking football field. Respectfully. No one wants to see that on a kickoff Monday night game. And so it puts more pressure on the Chiefs. It puts more pressure on the Chiefs. You got to put Mahomes out there. And then you're going to put him in you're going to put him in a particular. Now, we don't know if it's going to happen. Like, Rashee Rice still could potentially play week 1, but you're going to miss how much of training camp? You're going to miss the rev up, the conditioning, the outright rehab on your knee, because now you're wasting a whole month. So now you're in jail now. So we're not expecting you to get out of jail until probably mid-June, late June.
It's June 16.
June 16. June 16, you guys jail. So then you got to go in there, see if your knee is even healed. Let's say your knee ain't healed again, and they got to go in there and fucking clean the shit up again because it didn't work. And you got your knees swollen up and your shit aching, whatever the case may be. Then you got to do it again. And you know what's going to cost you? Another 2 fucking months. Potentially. Now, hopefully it don't happen for your sake. You know what I mean? Even though this does put a smile on my face because it's just more bullshit on the Chiefs. And I've been telling y'all, your wide receiver room has been killing y'all the last couple of years. Yeah. Respectfully. You know, minus the O-line and other bullshit. But this shit is ridiculous, bro. This shit is ridiculous. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I want them to cut him as soon as possible.
Oh, trust me. It's probably about 90% of the Chiefs fan that want them gone.
Now, will they do it this year? I don't know because they desperately need him. But I think if they find a pathway to get a top flight receiver, whether it's Devontae Adams, whether it's the AJ Brown, whether it's, they're able to sign Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill shows that he could still be Tyreek Hill, I think there might be a strong possibility he does get cut. I really do. Yeah. I think it comes to the point where it's just like it's not even worth the headache no more. It's really not, because you're not on the field, you're not healthy, you're not productive. Like, you haven't shown me anything the last 2 years, respectfully, and obviously it all stems from Patrick Mahomes because this dumbass thought he could be fucking Lawrence Taylor out there and he blew your fucking knee out and then it was just kind of all murder she wrote, you know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of funny how shit happens, but at the end of the day, man, like as a young black man, this is highly disappointing. Highly disappointing.
It is. Like I said, over them jail cell can knock some sense into your ass for your future, sir.
You don't be talking to Leroy and You know what I mean?
Let me
Like,
give you some perspective, and you in jail in Dallas, so
yeah, for real.
that's different.
It's insanity, bro. Insanity.
All right, man. Let's do our BetUs short fried picks, man.
Let's do it.
All right, man. What you got?
Mark Jackson, I don't think Aaron Glenn will go for that. I don't think Aaron Glenn wants.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where he goes. So I got the Knicks tomorrow, -6.5 against the Cavs. I just think that it's gonna be tough to see the Cavs team bounce back off of that loss. Possible, but it's gonna be tough. I got the Canadians +1.5. They kick off their series tomorrow against the Carolina Hurricane. I know the Carolina Hurricane, they've been literally the best team in these playoffs so far, but I think that long layoff could get to them. Canadians been playing very, very well, fast paced. I'm gonna take the +1.5, and I'm gonna take the Athletics +1.5 against the Angels tomorrow as well.
I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm taking the Cavs +6.5.
Oh wow!
And then I did some WNBA. I'm taking the Tempo +6.5 over the Lynx. I'm taking Golden State Valkyrie -7 over the Liberty, and I'm taking the Mercury -3.5 over the Sparks.
Okay.
If you go to any of our social media platforms, you'll see the BetUs link. Go ahead and click on it. First time users only. Sign up. Put the promo code join 125. You get 125% sign-in bonus plus 10% gambler's insurance. That's 3 risk-free bets on $100 up to $5,000. That means if you bet $100 on your first 3 deposits and you lose, you keep your money. So you can win some money, or you can keep your money on your first 3 deposits. So go over there, sign up. Tell me Cris Alamo sent you. Mm-hmm. And that does it for our BetUs show fried picks. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Maul's Random News. It is now time for Maul's Random News.
All right, everybody. You know what time it is. Everybody's favorite segment of any show that we do. Chris's favorite segment, because, he loves talking about these topics. A lot of topics that do not make it to the main docket, but they do make it onto Random News. We also love hearing Chris's opinions. So, sir, are you ready for tonight's, Random News?
Let's get it.
All right, man. Let's see. Where can we start out at? First up, we got a report that Henry Ruggs III, speaking of a young gentleman who ruined their career, appeared before a Nevada parole board last week and could be released this summer if granted parole. The board's decision is expected June 11th. I take full responsibility for my actions that led to Miss Tenser's death and her dog Max. I know I could never alleviate the pain I have caused. What's your thoughts with this? Obviously, we've talked about the Henry Ruggs situation. Do you anticipate him being released? And when he is released, could you potentially see him, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, an opportunity to play back in the
NFL? This is tough, man. I don't know if he gets out. I don't know if they parole. I know he seems like he formed himself, and he's contrite with some of the stuff that he's saying. Very remorseful for the stuff that he's done. That young, with the murder of that young lady and her dog, the harm that he's caused to her family and friends, and all her loved ones. But that's a tough one, man. That's real tough. But if they do release him, I wouldn't be surprised if a team takes a chance on him next year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some workouts in the beginning of the off season, and shows that he still has that speed. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody signs him. So
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's ways. I think he can maybe show he can still play. Maybe he could play in maybe that UFL league. What is it, UFL league or something like that? Maybe there's an opportunity with that. Maybe the Canadian, football league or something like that. Give him an opportunity. Show it. You know what I mean? At least show teams that he's able to do it. I'm gonna say this. I think Henry Ruggs. I know it seems like he's understandable of what he's done. It didn't seem like he tried to run away from whatever he caused. I think he knows the mistake that he made, and seeing that young woman die and her dog, rest in peace. Hopefully her family's in good spirits as best as they can be in that situation. But, I think Henry Ruggs, I think he would show remorse. Now, if the NFL team is willing to give him that opportunity, then I think they have every right to do so. I know there have been some people who think that Miss Tenser's families needs to give that blessing for that to happen. I'm gonna disagree with that. I think this man has did his time. You know what I mean? I think people should be given a second chance as long as they are truly remorseful for what they did, not condoning anything that this man has done. Like he took a life, he took 2 lives that should still be here on this earth today by a dumb decision. But then again, if he's very remorseful, he's back in the community, he's trying to do right, be an advocate to drunk driving and stuff like that, then I have no problem with him getting another opportunity if the team is willing to give it. So, All right, next up, we got a little bit of NBA news. The Dallas Mavericks, they fired Jason Kidd. Obviously, they hired Usara Majiri, the former Raptors president of operations. They fired Jason Kidd. There are rumors that the Dallas Mavericks are expected to reach out to Duke head coach John Shire. What would you think, man? Pairing Cooper Flagg's old college coach back with him, do you think that would be the right move for the Dallas Mavericks?
No. That never works. Never works.
Yeah.
This is a whole different ball game, player. Yes, you're dealing with NILs now, and it's amateur, semi-pro type conditions, but this is a whole nother ball game, player.
Yeah.
So no, just stay at Duke, man. Stay at Duke. You don't want to deal with the stress of Dallas. Them fans you'll be fired within a year.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. I think there are some pressures on John because of the recruitment classes he has had, and he has not won in a national championship. So I think the noise is going to get louder. But his recruiting classes are so top notch. They've been the best in college basketball compared to like UConn and some other teams that it'll be hard for me to see them go a different route. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how big of a bag they're willing to throw at him to try to get him out of that Duke job. More NBA news. The 2025-2026 NBA rookie teams were announced. The second team was Ace Bailey, Jeremiah Fears, Colin Murray Boyles, Maxim Renaud, and Derek Queen. And then our first team rookie, all rookie team is Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Con Knipple, BJ Eshcombe, and Cedric Coward. Do you agree? Disagree? Do you think some second team should have made the first team? What are your thoughts?
No, I think they got it right. I think they did. That sounded about right to me.
Nah, I think they hit it on the head for sure. Next up, man, Underdog, man, they posted a question. I wanted to ask this to you. See, get your opinion on what you would do. The question was: you have 100 attempts at one of these challenges, and if you're able to complete this challenge, you win $1 million. Which one are you choosing? The first one is tackle Derrick Henry on a one-on-one thing. Make a layup on Victor Wembanyama. Make contact off of Paul Skeens, no bunting, and save a penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo. Which one are you doing with 100 attempts?
I guess man. You putting 100 attempts on Derrick Henry. He getting tired after a while. I'm taking my chances with Derrick Henry, man.
I think Derrick Henry will be the last one on that list.
About 100 attempts on running the football in one game.
Yeah,
he gonna get tired, man.
Mark says he's saving the penalty against Ronaldo.
Fuck that. This ball gonna hit me in the face and still get in there.
All right. So no. So you're saying no to Derrick Henry and no to Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, I'm saying yes to Derrick Henry
Oh,
because
you're saying yes to Derrick Henry. Okay.
100 attempts, about 20, about 100 attempts, 100
Have you
carries.
seen Derrick Henry in person?
He's a huge man.
That is a huge human being,
but
my
he's not
boy.
used to having 100 carries in one game.
All right. So you would choose that over making a layup over Victor Wembanyama and making contact off of Paul Schemes?
I'm not making the contact out of Paul Schemes. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna hit that. He's gonna do a straight fastball on my ass. I am not hitting that.
There you go. There you go. He got a point. Mark got a point.
Well, good luck with that, Mark.
Hey, underdog. If we become big, make that happen. Let's make it happen. I want to see Cris try to tackle Derrick Henry for 100 attempts for $1 million. You know what I mean? I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Now. Hold on, man.
We'll see it. I want to make that happen. All right, next up, Skip Bayless, man. He ranks his top 12 quarterbacks of all time. Read this list, get your thoughts. At number 12, he had Aaron Rodgers. Number 11, he had Kurt Warner. Number 10, he had Bart Starr. Number 9, he had Troy Aikman. Number 8, he had your boy, Patrick Mahomes. Number 7, he has Brett Favre. Number 6, Peyton Manning. Number 5, Terry Bradshaw. Number 4, Roger Staubach. Number 3, John Elway. Number 2, Joe Montana. And then obviously number 1, Tom Brady. What is your thoughts with Skip Bayless's top 12 list of all time?
I'm just surprised he had Patrick Mahomes on the list, period.
Yeah.
The way he be talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by his list. It wouldn't be my list, but you know.
Nothing egregious.
I don't think it's egregious, but I would think I would have Brett Favre a little bit down lower.
Yeah.
I got Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre.
I would easily have Patrick Mahomes over Brett Favre. I would have Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre.
Even Roger Staubach, he was great, but then nobody's ever really said Terry Bradshaw was the.
Who would you take? Would you take Kurt Warner or Brett Favre? I like Kurt.
I would take Kurt because he was more efficient and careful with the football. Brett Favre, yes, he was freelance and he was fun, but he could just as much as he could win you a game, he could lose that motherfucker for you too.
Yeah. Troy Aikman or Brett Favre?
I'm taking Brett. Brett's a more playmaker.
Yeah. It's not a bad list. It's not a bad list.
It's not a bad list. It's just like I don't agree with the order.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, next up, man, we got other NBA news. There is fear coming out of the Minnesota Timberwolves that Anthony Edwards could request a trade. Quote saying, but it's about satisfying Ant. The fear is, Judd, that at some point does Ant, through his representation, Bill Duffy and others, signal a desire to be elsewhere. We are nowhere near that point, but the fear is there for the Minnesota Timberwolves. How much fear should the Minnesota Timberwolves have of a potential?
Hey, get the fuck out of there, man. Leave while you can, man, while your career is intact. Yeah. Kevin Garnett waited too long, man, even though he got a championship with the Celtics. Like,
yeah,
don't wait till you're old like him and get a championship. Get one while you're young, man. Go somewhere else. And he's from Atlanta. Go to Atlanta, man.
Yeah, he is from Atlanta. He is from Georgia. He's from Georgia, so
he is from Georgia. Dog. You need to be in a big market, dog. That's what you need to be.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think
respectfully, man.
The best market for him, and I think his attitude that would fit the most to me would be the New York market. I think he would embrace that heavily. You know what I mean? With his attitude, his charisma, and stuff like that. Another market I would love to see him in is Chicago. I think Chicago is.
But you know what the comparisons would be.
Yeah, the comparisons would be there, and I think he obviously, you know, he's always said that, you know, he doesn't want to be compared to Michael because Michael is one of one. But at the end of the day, I think Anthony Edwards in the Chicago Bulls uniform would be amazing. I think that is like one fan base that is kind of like ready to explode. You know what I mean? We see it with the Bears. I think Chicago has great fans for sure, and you know that Bulls organization has been terrible for a lot of years, ever since Derrick Rose, you know what I mean, and obviously when he was out with that knee injury and stuff like that. So, and we saw that kind of crowd of what it was, you know what I mean. I think it competed with the Knicks crowd and how crazy they could be as far as like with that East Coast flavor. So, I think that would be one. I think those two would be the best, you know what I mean. If I had to rate, I'll probably say Bulls 1, Knicks 2.
You think Ant would make a difference in Orlando?
Hell yeah. Hell, he'll make a difference anywhere. You put him in Orlando, you can put him with the Pistons, and you can put him with you can put him in Brooklyn, you can put him with the Hornets, you can put him with the Heat, you can put him anywhere. I think Anthony Edwards is
Anthony, you don't need to go.
Yeah, stay away from there because that's
about 7 baby mama.
You know what I mean? But you don't want that, dog. You don't want that. The Clippers, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? I like, the Houston Rockets, I think he'll fit in a lot of teams. And just his persona and his personality, man, it'll rub off. You know what I mean? I think, if a team has a perception of being kind of like not killers, I think he would change that perception in a heartbeat, because I think with his personality, I think he's the type of person that people will gravitate to and rub off on real quick. So, but we'll see. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, but the way it's looking, you never know. All right, keep going. New court filings show Brian Flores' attorneys are seeking hiring records and internal communications from 25 NFL teams as part of his discrimination lawsuit against the league, per ESPN. Flores' legal team says the information is needed to help prove systematic discrimination in the NFL's hiring practices as his lawsuit against the league enters its 4th year. What are your thoughts with these new findings as far as like what Brian Flores' attorneys are currently seeking?
I hope he gets everything that he deserves. I think Brian Flores got wrongfully done as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. The reports of him wanting, they was trying to get him to be on board with Tom Brady, and he wasn't on board with that. And he wanted Justin Herbert, not Tua. And I think he was scapegoated out of that situation when things didn't work out between him and Tua, because I just think he didn't believe in Tua. He saw what, everybody else should have saw with Tua. He's too small. He can't, he's a one read type dude. If his first read ain't there, he can't throw the football. So I think he got outed, and I think he's the hell of a coach. You see what he's doing with that Vikings defense, and I think he deserves another opportunity as a head coach. So yeah, I hope he gets everything that's coming to him. That's positive.
Nah, yeah, for sure. We're all rooting for Brian Flores. Hopefully he doesn't excommunicado him, but we all know how the NFL is. All right, next up, PlayStation has announced a state of play on June 2nd. They said it's going to be an over an hour long show, includes an extended look at Marvel's Wolverine, plus news and updates on upcoming PS5 games. People are super excited because usually we'll get this announcement a week in advance. People, with this being a 2-week advance, and they also have a watch party at the Alamo Drafthouse Theater, which got people even more intrigued. Like, why would you need a theater? People are expecting big things coming out of this state of play. People are hinting at maybe a new GTA 6 trailer, some new games that been kind of hinted on. What's your expectations with the state of play, man? What are some of the video games you would like to see come out of this showcase that we are going to get in 2 weeks?
Of course, I want to see some more gameplay for the Wolverine game. I'm pretty sure they're going to show Madden. They're probably going to show some college football stuff, probably NBA stuff. Maybe in the college I know they was working on a college basketball game. I think there was, but we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be some other, RPG fighting games and stuff like that is going to come out. So I'm interested to see. I want to be surprised.
Right. Nah, there's a lot of games that I'm looking forward to see. Obviously, I'm excited to see the Wolverine game. Hopefully we get some GTA 6 news or whatever the case may be. Hopefully we get maybe, there's rumors about Infamous. Maybe we might get an Infamous sneak peek. Maybe we might see that Batman game that we kind of talked about on Monday that was rumored to be happening. I'm expecting big things. Obviously, with June coming around, close to Summer Game Fest. I think Summer Game Fest is, that week anyway. So we're going to get a lot of big video game news. If you're a big video game head, this is probably one of the most exciting times around the year. I miss E3. I miss those E3 conferences and stuff like that. Those used to be hella cool and stuff like that. But, Summer Game Fest is kind of like the new E3. But, I'm excited. We'll see what happens. All right, man, we're going to head into the WNBA because there's a lot of news around your girl, Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna play this video. I think you shared this with me one time. I'm going to play this clip if anybody has not seen it yet. Play this, you know what I mean? We're gonna play this real quick. Obviously, this is the video. I forgot the coach's name, but she's talking about some defensive lapses that did happen. Little clip right there. When you see this clip, what are your thoughts? We've kind of seen this before with Caitlin Clark. What are your thoughts with this and her and the way she's talking to the head coaches?
Well, first off, I want to give a shout out to this coach because this is Brianne January.
Yeah, Brianne January.
and
great defensive player.
Yes, very great defensive player. She is, very ingrained in this Indiana Fever community. She played with them for a number of years. She was drafted by them in 2009. A very good point guard, had the passes. She was, like you said, defensive lockdown, won a championship with the Fever with Stephanie White as the head coach. So she's been on this organization for a very, very long time. This points to some of the reports about Caitlin Clark, about her being coachable. Mm-hmm. And the entitlement thing that she has going on, where she looks like she can't take constructive criticism. And this isn't the first time we've seen her do this. She did this last year where she was arguing with I want to say it was the same fucking coach, where this coach had an issue with Sophie too, when Sophie snatched away and said, "Don't touch me." And she's out here looking horrible too. At least Caitlin Clark is scoring like 24 points a game. I don't know what Sophie was doing all that for. But at the end of the day, it's showing that she's not coachable. And look, I know they played the Fire today, but the team looked better when she's not on the court. Let's just call it for what it is, man. When it's Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston out there, and mind you, this team made it to the finals without Caitlin Clark. Me and Maul have been saying this for years. Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on this team. Aaliyah Boston is the second best player on this team. Mm-hmm. Caitlin Clark has not been having a good season by any means. Mm-hmm. Her field goal percentage has been bad.
Defense is terrible.
She's a liability on defense. That's why they drafted Raven. Is she the scorer as Caitlin Clark? No. But defensively, she's not a liability. And guess what? Who got minutes today? Mm-hmm. And they had one of the biggest, and like I said, I know it was the Fire, but at the end of the day, who cares? They are professionals on the other side too, and they had a 54-point lead today. They beat them by 54. That's one of the biggest margins in WNBA history. So, like I said, I saw it last year, and I'm seeing it now. She had this unforeseen back injury all of a sudden this morning, and there was a little controversy about that too. So it's not looking good for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Speaking of the back injury, we're going to get to that. She was ruled out to get today's game, part of a strategic management plan for the season with a back injury that it's come out of nowhere. I've never heard anything about a back injury coming into this season that I'm aware of. Stephanie White, she did address the issue. She says on why CC wasn't on the injury report. Another thing, she wasn't on the injury report. A lot of fans were kind of upset. She quote by saying, "Not everybody that doesn't practice or gets a pro day is on the injury report. That happens all the time." And she wasn't listed on the injury report earlier because we expected her to play. Asked if Caitlin Clark is injured. Her back is sore. If there's anything more detailed than that, then that's the training staff. What are your thoughts with this whole new back injury with Caitlin Clark? And does this kind of derail, the Caitlin Clark effect as far as like with this Indiana Fever team?
Look, I know I saw people was sitting up here. I've seen some of these like radio guys and national media people complaining that Caitlin Clark is not being marketed right and she's not being pushed right. And I don't know if this is an agent move and she, you know what I'm saying, the agent is feeling some type of way or whatever, but it's been a lot of controversy already at the start of the season with Caitlin Clark. And yeah, I'm just gonna go back to she has not been playing well this year. There are, yes, in the stat sheet, it may say 25 points, it may say 32 points, but it also says for 15 for 35 on the field goals. Because she just, I mean, of course, if you jack up a bunch of threes, eventually you're gonna get 25 to 30 points.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this ain't Caitlin Clark hate. I know people are gonna receive it like that because if you say anything wrong about Caitlin Clark, you're hating on her. No, we talking about strictly on the court, what we see. And what I see is when they are not having to funnel everything through her, when it's Kelsey Mitchell, when it's Aliyah Boston and the whole team, they play better as a team. They just do.
Yeah. Speaking of that, but I'll cut you off real quick. That Indiana Fever did win tonight, 90-73 against the Portland Fire. Leah Boston had 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Kelsey Mitchell had 21 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and Lexi Hall had 60 points, 8 rebounds.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just play more efficient basketball. They play better defensively. Kelsey Mitchell, better two-way player. Aliyah Boston can play 2 ways. She can score and she can play on the blocks and defend.
Lexi Hall.
Lexi Hall. Yeah. All of them. And then that's why they drafted Raven Johnson.
Yeah. And she even had 9 points and 3 rebounds. Played 22 minutes.
But she's good. That you drafted Raven because of her defense. And she's a leader. She's clutch when you need her to be. It's just, I don't know. If Caitlin Clark doesn't show that she's not coachable, I can see her asking for a trade, or they're gonna fire that head coach. That's what it's gonna be. Unless Kelsey Mitchell and then win a championship without her, or in spite of her, they're gonna fire their head. The first move will be they're gonna fire their head coach if they don't win a championship this year.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the scapegoat, even though she's been in that organization for a very long time. They're gonna let her go because they don't want to lose out on the Caitlin Clark money. But I wouldn't be surprised either if Caitlin Clark is like, I'm not liking this with Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston and how the team looks without me, and I'm sick and tired of Brianna January yelling at me every 2 seconds because I ain't playing good defense. Like, she might demand a trade or force their hand, either trade me or fire her.
Let me play this clip with Rachel Demita. She is a great correspondent to WNBA circles. I'm gonna play this clip and get your opinion on it.
Okay.
I don't know if Caitlin staying with the Indiana Fever makes sense. It's also something where I think if this were an NBA franchise, this was an NBA organization, people would be fired by now. This is the face of the league, your franchise player, your star player who's never had injuries, people would be fired by now. People would be fired expeditiously. We see it happen, even if it's not the coach's fault, even if it's not the training staff's fault, somebody has to go down for it. And that's what happens literally in every other league. We literally just saw Jason Kidd get fired from the Mavericks organization because they had a horrible season, and they have Cooper Flagg. Like, they're not going to waste time when you have a talent like Cooper Flagg with the Mavericks. We see this happen so often. People would already be gone and fired if this continues to happen. And so we'll just wait and see. I don't know if Caitlin's staying with the Indiana.
All right, that was Rachel Demita on Caitlin Clark. What are your thoughts with what she said?
Here's the problem with that. Indiana made the finals last year. They made
the not the finals, but they made the
conference
semifinals.
Yeah, the semifinals. But still, they went far in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
this ain't Dallas where they were picking one.
They took the Aces. They took the Aces to the brink too.
They did. That's what I'm saying. Like, this ain't the same situation where Caitlin Clark was off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cooper Flagg played last year, and they were just a bad team around him.
Well, to cut you off, Jason Kidd wasn't fired because of the bad season. He was fired because he was part of the Luka Doncic trade. Yeah. He was one of the guys that green-lighted that trade. That was the main reason why he was fired. It had nothing to do with the season that happened because they all knew they weren't going to be good this year, especially with Kyrie Irving being out and all the injuries that they did have. It wasn't because of that. So Rachel Demita, I love her, but she's totally wrong on that situation.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's two different situations. Like, you can't compare the two because one was just they had a bad season, and like you said, the Luka Doncic stuff, but they also had a bad season. Indiana didn't have a bad season. Like, they went deep.
Yeah.
In the playoffs without Caitlin Clark sitting on the bench.
They look better. They look better.
I hear you, Mark. Yes, she's I hit all that face of the franchise shit, but her deficiencies are getting put out there, bro. And she's not coachable whatsoever.
Let's be honest with this. Let's be honest with this conversation. Caitlin Clark is only the face of this league because she is propped up by a lot of white fans that want her to be the face of this league. That is the only reason. That's the only reason. Because let's state facts, bro. She wasn't this popping until the whole Angel Reese situation happened. That is fact. She was there as far as like, oh, Caitlin Clark, yeah, she's the girl that shoots threes. She did get some publicity, but she wasn't like this superstar where she was all over the fucking news where people are like fighting for her. No, the only time it happened was when Angel Reese schooled her on the fucking court, embarrassed her on the court, did this in her face, the same shit that Caitlin Clark does every single time, embarrassed her on the court, and then all of a sudden, white people wanted to get all upset about the whole situation. And then she became the face of them, which is cool. You want to find somebody that you can relate to. No one's mad at that. But the main problem with Caitlin Clark fans is because they turn everything into this woe is me. Why don't you coddle this woman to being the face of the league? Like, that was the whole issue that I have from Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and all these guys that said, oh, you can't go at her. What you mean you can't go at her? Every great athlete has gone through some kind of turmoil in their fucking career to get to the point where they weren't gifted the face of the league. They earned it. They earned it. LeBron James, no matter how much shit I talked about him, he earned to be the face of the league. Kobe Bryant at the time earned that face to be the league. Michael Jordan had to go through the Pistons. He had to go through the Lakers. He had to go through the Cavs. He had to go through all these great teams. And he lost consecutively until he got Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, and then he earned his right. He got beat up in all those series. I wasn't alive back in the day, but even with LeBron James, I never saw anybody be like, oh, you can't do that to LeBron. You gotta let LeBron be great. You can't go at him. You can't be physical with him. We've only seen that from Caitlin Clark. I haven't heard that with Cheryl Swoops. I never heard that with Lisa Leslie. I for damn sure never heard that with Asia Wilson.
The real face of the league.
But for Caitlin Clark, we gotta babysit her. For Caitlin Clark, we got to ignore the fact she might be the worst fucking teammate I have ever seen. Like, she's the one that will sit there and pout because she don't get the goddamn ball when you have a wide open person right there and she want to take a little 30-foot jump shot that does nothing to help the team. She's the worst defender I've seen in the WNBA. She's horrible. Horrible. You have evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence that this team is better without her. They're better without her. And you fans cannot get that through your thick skull. She's a great scorer, but goddamn, she is the worst teammate and the most uncoachable player ever. That's why Gino Auriemma never wanted to touch her. That's why she had to go to Iowa. You think Don Staley was dealing with that? Gino Auriemma wanted to deal with that. Why do you think her talent had to go to Iowa? Think about that. You think her talent should have been at Iowa? No, her talent should have been at UConn. Her talent should have been at USC. Her talent should have been at Texas or South Carolina or Tennessee. Those big college women's basketball teams. No, her ass had to go to Iowa. I wonder why. I wonder why Kelsey Mitchell, when she is the star of the team, this team goes. I wonder why this team looked a whole bit better when her ass was injured on the bench, not doing anything, but sitting there gawking at the refs, sitting there back talking to coaches because she don't want to get coached because she thinks she's bigger than the fucking program. And you have fans who think she's bigger than the league. She's not bigger than the league. She ain't done nothing for the league besides bring a whole bunch of eyes that don't understand the sport, that don't care about the sport. They care about her. It's like people who are a fan of Trump. They don't give a fuck what he does. They don't care. This man can do the ugliest shit in the world and they will still root for this motherfucker. And she's the same way. How can you keep looking at this woman time and time again, disrespecting black coaches on that? I've never seen her do that to a white coach, number one. Never seen a video of that. I've only seen her do that and talk so disrespectful to black coaches. When there was a moment when it became racial issues within the league because of her, she did not say not one fucking word. Not one fucking word. She ignored it. Every time she shows you her character, every time I wonder why Nike even promotes her. I get it, but at the same time, she don't promote nothing good about the fucking sport. She's not what you want to promote. There is a whole bunch of better basketball players. I don't give a fuck that she scores 30. I don't care that she shoots from 35 fucking feet. No one gives a fuck. She's not a winning basketball player. She never won anything in college, and she ain't gonna win nothing in the WNBA. It is fact. Promote Asia. Promote Paige. Promote Olivia. Olivia Miles is 100 times better than Caitlin Clark right now. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
And the real one is coming next year.
Sonia Citron is way better than Caitlin fucking Clark.
Right there,
Juju Watkins is coming in this league about to fucking dominate. She is 100 times better than fucking Caitlin Clark. Hannah Hidalgo is 100 times better than fucking Caitlin Clark. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, Aaliyah Boston's a better player. Breanna Stewart is a better player. Sabrina Ionescu is a better player. She does what Caitlin Clark, she does it better than what Caitlin Clark does.
And she plays defense.
What are we talking about? Deanna Taurasi was a better version of fucking Caitlin Clark.
Super.
Kelsey Plum is a better version of fucking Caitlin Clark. Arike is a better player than fucking Caitlin Clark. Nafisa Collier. The list goes on and on and on. I don't even think she's top 25, dog.
Alicia Gray.
She's not even top 25. I can name 25 better basketball players than her. 25. Carrington. Like, what are we talking about?
Skylar Dickens.
What are we talking about? Malanga. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, word.
Alicia Clark.
Come on, dog. Come on, dog. What more do you fans need to see of how ugly of a person she fucking is? Respectfully. I see it on the court. I don't know her from shit. But respectfully, you know if she's a good person by the way she treats her teammates, her coaches, and the media. And she has failed at all three. She has failed at all three.
She told me everything I needed to know with the CBA shit. She said not know one thing. Not one. And you supposed, and if you had said anything, I think it would have held weight.
She was the only one that didn't wear a t-shirt. But everybody wanted to make excuses for her. She does everything that does not have anything to do with her. They make so many excuses for her. Why can't you wear the fucking t-shirt to unify? Why can't you speak up for I didn't hear her speak up not once in the media. Not once. Now maybe she did it in the back end, but you are supposedly the biggest face in the WNBA, and you don't say not one fucking word. Not one fucking word. Not at all. Because you're cool. You got your endorsement deals. You got your bread. You are the face. You got your crazy ass fan base that's going to fucking ride with you with everything that you do. You got people that fucking get bitch butt hurt because her face isn't on a fucking commercial for a fucking Fever game. What? Word? That's what we're worried about. I can't stand you fucking Caitlin Clark fans. You guys are the worst thing that has ever happened to the W fucking NBA. Respectfully.
Because y'all not WNBA fans.
Y'all not WNBA. Y'all not even basketball fan. I don't know what you're a fan of. I just think you're a fan because she's a white basketball player that can ball. And she ain't even that good. You think because she can shoot 30 feet and score 30 points, that makes you the best basketball player in the world? No, it don't. That makes you Trae Young. And we see what they talk about with Trae Young.
She's not even Trae Young. She's Jimmer Fredette, though. Let's just call her for what it is. She's Jimmer Fredette.
But she at least, but Jimmer Fredette ain't hoop like that in the league. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want to disrespect Trae Young but I'm just talking about just the conversation pieces that media has. That's why it's so frustrating with guys like Stephen A. Like, you sit there and you dog Trae Young talking about he's not a winning basketball player. You sit there and you will dog other players that James Harden's and all these guys, the John Morant's that aren't winning basketball players when she's the clear example of what they do. The clear example of what they do. High profile offensive players who don't do anything on fucking defense. But you're going to sit here in my face and tell me she's the best basketball player in the world, that she is the fucking face of the fucking league, and she ain't earned nothing. She ain't earned nothing. Nothing at all. Now she has a hurt back. So you already got back issues. You're in your third year? You already got back issues? What we talking about, Ma? So now you need management on your back in your third year. Back injuries don't go anywhere. They only progressively get worse unless you get back surgery, bro. So what are we talking about? This is your future? A chick that shoots 30-foot jump shots that can't play defense with a bad back? That's your future? Come on, dog. What are we talking about? Oh my God. We ain't even made it 10 games yet, and I'm already pissed off about hearing Caitlin Clark's fucking name. Lord Jesus. My God. Y'all been wasting my whole. I didn't want to take this long on fucking goddamn random news. Y'all, oh my God. I saw this shit. I got hot. All right, let me move on. I think I talked enough about her. But I don't know. You agree, disagree with what I said?
Oh no, I agree. I say what I said.
All right, we'll keep it going. We'll do a couple more. I ain't gonna go too long, but we'll play another clip, man. Reason he has some comments about West Coast music, and we'll go from there.
Uh-oh.
Anything like that. Like, I saw the tweet, I would have never even.
What was it?
Like, I saw the tweet, I would have never even.
What was it?
Hold on,
like, it said reasons. I saw the tweet, I would have never even.
What was it?
It said reasons said.
Come on, my boy. You gonna play or not?
Reason says Kendrick Lamar.
All right, fuck it. I'll just read it on. The video ain't playing. But anyways, he says
Reasons. I can hear it.
Oh, you can hear it? What is? I'll play it.
Poor curation of GNX is the reason for the West Coast sound. Yeah. And so it's like I didn't say nothing like that. So it's like that's just what content. I literally didn't say anything like that. Like literally in the video, I didn't say anything like that. But that's just where content.
Wait, so what did they pull to make you say that?
It was a clip. So what they do is
let me know.
They take longer clips. That way they know if somebody clicks on the video, they see 3 minutes, they're like, oh, I'm not watching that. And I'm just gonna take whatever they said. And then they put a different caption. But basically me and Kev was having a conversation about how the West Coast sound is not popular nationwide. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not popular nationwide. And I said, I love GNX. It's one of my favorite Dot albums. It's probably 2 or 3 for me, which is high on his discography. And Kev asked me why he didn't feel like, usually when an album is that successful, the sound travels. And then other people like that sound. You get what I'm saying? And that's been a thing in history. And I told him, I said, the artists that were on it didn't necessarily, like it can't just be Dot. Like other artists would have had to follow up after that with the same sound and make moments and be successful. Sound, And I just said some of the artists that were on it they're not as consistent in their business and dropping music and stuff like that. So the sound couldn't travel because they're not following up afterwards and, you know, making moments. You have your artists like AZ Chike, shout out to Chike, Wally the Sensei. There's artists on there that are really dope and they're going to continue.
Chike is fire. Him a lot. He's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
probably my favorite feature on.
Chike is fire. Chike is fire.
I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, him and Wally. And this is even though they might take it away, there's no diss to any other artists. I just think that when you have a moment like that, you got to start getting your ducks in a row.
Yeah,
and I don't think everybody got their ducks in a row and started to. So that was what I was saying in the video.
All right, what's your thoughts with what Reason said on why West Coast music didn't become more widespread after GNX?
I mean, I agree with what he's saying. Like, artists didn't start, taking that sound, even though that sound has been around before Kendrick even did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not an original sound. I just think this was just Kendrick showing everybody that I can do this too. Y'all wanted the bops. Y'all wanted tracks to, make you, you know what I'm saying, that you could play in the club and in your car and all that stuff. I can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the purpose of that album was. I don't think it was purpose was, oh, this is a new sound and I'm trying to make this go global or whatever like that. I don't think Dot moves like that. I think Dot was just like, this is an album I've been working on. I'm going to show y'all that I can do this type of music, but I'm going to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he did. And he had some smash records from that. The Luther track, the Not Enough, track, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Squabble Up. Like, he had some tracks on there that got love on there. Dodger Blue, like, it had some tracks on there that were globally recognized and was on the Billboard charts too. So, so I agree with what he's saying, but I don't think that was Dot's purpose.
Yeah. No, yeah. I totally agree. All right, man. We'll end it on this, man. We'll play this trailer that Netflix just released on this new Michael Jackson documentary, and we'll get Chris's thoughts on it. We'll end it after that.
And this is Mr. Jackson's main area. Are there any secret rooms? Police right now searching Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch.
This is part of an ongoing investigation.
He's the most famous man in the world, being accused of the most heinous crime in the world.
An arrest warrant for Mr. Jackson has been issued on multiple counts of child molestation.
Michael Jackson's trial has finally begun.
I walked into what looked like a circus.
We believed he was a criminal, and he was able to get away with it because of his fame and celebrity.
Michael said, how do innocent people leave the courthouse? They let the whole world see them.
This was a man who was unique in his talent, skill, and accomplishment, and unique in his victimization of children.
When the supposed victim was on the stand, the thing that struck me was, wow, he's just a kid.
It was very moving testimony. It really got to me. He lured young boys to Neverland.
The kids knew the combination to the bedroom suite. Their mother didn't.
The defense said Michael Jackson loves children. It's all been misconstrued.
It was our opinion that they began to come up with these allegations to get a payday.
Testimony keeps on coming.
Culkin called the allegations absolutely ridiculous.
I was juror number 8. What has to be proven is beyond a reasonable doubt. Can you doubt that happened?
Michael was scared to death.
I knew we were watching the potential demise of a superstar.
I found the smoking gun. I believe Michael was innocent, and we were going to prove it.
Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Finally, we're going to get some answers. Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court.
All right, what do you make of that trailer that was just released by Netflix?
I'm not surprised that they dropped this right when the Michael Jackson movie came out.
Yeah, some people think that, they blame the biopic that came out because it's going to bring up, people are going to highlight all the ugly stuff that comes with Michael Jackson, allegedly, with that. So do you agree with that? That they opened up the door with all that?
No, because the next part of the movie is supposed to get on that. So it's not like they're not gonna tackle it. The next part of the movie, and the reason why that they couldn't do it in this movie was because in the contract it stated that they couldn't name names. They couldn't have the names in the movie if they ever did a movie or a biopic or anything like that. They couldn't name the names of the people who alleged that he did these things. So you know what I'm saying? They had to do some reshoots, and that's why you got the movie that you got. So that's why they was like, all right, we're just going to do a part 2 where we're going to tackle this stuff. And I'm pretty sure they're probably going to change the names or whatever they're going to do. But I'm not surprised that this came out, because when they was criticizing the movie and they was like, oh, well, we didn't get nothing about the child molestation and stuff. The critics was already trying to tear it apart. Before it even like really hit mainstream and the domestic numbers came in, and then once people watched it, it was like, well, you can't bury this is Michael Jackson. You ain't gonna bury this movie. So I'm not surprised that the whole Neverland Ranch story that Oprah was an executive producer for, with the one choreographic dude, the Ray Robertson dude. They had put that out and then found out it was holes and all of that, so they had to take it down. So so
yeah, for sure.
I'm not surprised, man. They've been trying to ridicule Mike for years, dog. And, my whole thing is that with Macaulay Culkin and the Ham brothers and Corey Ham has been like, he's been on a rampage, like telling like he like has a documentary or whatever, like he showed to like a selected few of people of big time executives that are known like child molesters and who have done, because him and Corey Ham Fieldman dealt with that. That's what Corey Fieldman had, the problems that he had, because they had dealt with that in the industry. So and when they said Mike never touched me, and if you're that, you're not gonna care who it is.
right.
So that told me some things, you know what I'm saying? And he was never found guilty of this. You know what I'm saying? If they wanted to put Michael in the jail, they could have put Michael in the jail if they wanted to.
Is this something you're intrigued on into watching or no?
I ain't gonna watch it.
Yeah, no, I feel it. All right, man. That's it for random news tonight.
For sure, brother. All right, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. It's Memorial Day next Monday, so we probably won't have a show next.
Nah, most likely. Most likely not.
We probably ain't gonna have a show, so we'll probably see y'all next Wednesday.
Yep.
If you want to donate to the Cris Lamar podcast, donate to the $Cris Mall podcast. We'll appreciate anything that you donate to us. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Go ahead and subscribe to us on there. Also, first time watchers on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesday 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can jump in the live with us. You can talk about these topics. We want to hear from you. Just like Mark was giving his opinion, we want to hear your opinion, man. Give us what you feel. Do you agree? Do you think Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA? How do you feel about the Rashee Rice situation in the NBA Eastern Western Conference Finals right now? And some of the stuff that we talked about in Mall's Random News. How do you feel, man? Give us your opinion. Listening on the playback, leave it in the comment section. Trust me, we will answer you back.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, don't forget to subscribe. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Facebook, Kick, whatever you use to do your social media on, we're available at Cris and Mall. Follow us. We will follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. If you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or topic and you like said question or topic, and we like said question or topic, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via DM, emails, or our mentions. All right, good people. Until next Wednesday, hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Be safe out there on Memorial Day weekend, and be safe on Memorial Day. Get to spend time with your family, and we will be back next Wednesday with more topics to give y'all for sure.
Don't pull no Rashee Rices. You know what I mean? Uber them bitches. Just Uber.
Hey, if you're on probation, man, that's my man.
Stay at home. Watch Netflix, cuddle up, do something. You know what I mean? Play a video game, do something.
Like my man Stephen A used to say back in the day, stay off the weed, man.
Yeah.
So. All right, y'all. Until next week, we out.
Adios. Be safe.